We're getting for the United States a lot of the mineral rights from the Congo as part of it. They're so honored to be here. They never thought they'd be coming to, look, this is a very tough part of the world. They never thought, they were just telling me, they never thought they'd ever be coming to the White House, and they're so honored. How long has the war been going? And a friend of mine who's very much involved said 30 years, and at least 6 million people were killed during that period of time. It's incredible. And somebody said that was actually, it's the biggest war on the planet since World War II. So it's a shame, but we're going to bring it to an end. I want to express my gratitude and congratulations to the representatives of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of Rwanda, who signed this pivotal agreement a short time ago. They just signed right in front.
With also a new approach of economic integration, regional economic integration, which is important to allow Rwanda and DRC working together, because this is a very rich region with cross-border trade, with minerals, with natural wealth. So with the US standing side by side with Rwanda and DRC, we believe that we'll achieve a long-time peace.
Stay committed, stay on board. We need the United States to make sure that this agreement holds and that you hold us accountable.
My people, a handshake has happened in Washington that could change everything. Now, we all knew something was brewing behind closed doors. I've been talking about it for months, actually, quite here on the show. But now it's official. Yesterday, inside the Oval Office, President Trump stood proudly between two African diplomats, foreign ministers, declaring that he had brokered peace between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And in the same breath, he confirmed that the deal would give the U.S. access to, quote, a lot of the mineral rights from the Congo. Now, let's be clear. This isn't just another photo op. This is a major turning point in one of the world's deadliest and most complex conflicts, a war that's killed over 6 million people and displaced millions more. And the man now claiming credit for peace, for a breakthrough, a U.S. president who is building his Africa legacy on travel bans, shithole country slurs, and cutting foreign aid to the very continent that he now says he is saving. Now, what exactly this deal includes is still murky. But what we do know is this. Trump's special advisor on Africa, Masad Boulos, says that it involves major investments from U.S. tech companies in both Rwanda and the DRC. Now, let me be clear. The problem with this deal isn't the peace that it is promising to bring, or even the investment. The problem is who's making the deal and what Africa is giving up in return. Because, let's be honest, if there's one thing we know about Donald Trump, is that he doesn't honor deals. And if you need proof, just call Elon Musk. And he definitely doesn't make deals without a personal or political win, especially not with nations that he once referred to as shitholes. So you gotta ask, why is he suddenly interested in Congo? It should tell you just how big he now sees the DRC. And why? Because it just happens to sit on over $20 trillion worth of untapped mineral wealth, from cobalt to coltan, lithium to gold. These are the building blocks of the global tech economy. And this peace deal, well, it's looking a whole lot like a business deal with a security clause. And that, my people, is a big problem. Today, we're breaking down every side of this deal critically. And I want you in the comments to answer one question. Is this peace deal truly a win for the DRC? Is it the long-awaited break the country deserves, and quite frankly, the region? Or is it the beginning of something far worse, not just for Congo, but for the entire African continent? Is the DRC trading one problem for a far bigger one? Because, make no mistake, this isn't just about peace. And it's not just about minerals. It's about who gets to control and profit from Africa's resources in a world where power is shifting, alliances are shaping, and influence is up for grabs. Everyone wants a piece of Africa. China is in. Russia is in. But the DRC handing the keys to its mineral future over to the US, that doesn't just change the game. It rewrites the rules. So we're going to break it all the way down. But before we dive in, will you do me a favor and subscribe to our channel and then hit the notification bell so you never miss a new release? And share this video with your group chats and help us get to 200,000 subscribers. Because here at Panagenius TV, we bring you the truth about the world today, the power shaping the future, and yes, the voices challenging the status quo. So join the family, be a part of something bigger. And if you want exclusive content and deeper dives, consider joining our membership community or drop a super thanks to support our work. All right, now, let's get into it.
Start the day's other headlines with a major development towards ending a decades-long conflict. The Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda signed a peace agreement in Washington today. The Trump administration mediated the deal. The African nation's top diplomats put pen to paper at the State Department alongside Secretary Marco Rubio. Experts doubt it will end the fighting right away, but Rubio hailed it as an important first step toward peace.
For all the things that make life worth living, those things become impossible when there's war and when there's conflict. So we're grateful to have played the role we've played. We acknowledge and recognize there's still more work to be done.
Today's agreement follows decades of conflict that has its roots in Rwanda's 1994 genocide. It's been driven by fighting between two ethnic groups, among other factors. Analysts say millions have lost their lives. The deal also comes as the U.S. competes with China for influence in Africa and access to minerals that are critical for much of the world's technology.
So I'm a hopeless optimist, okay? So let's start with some optimism about this deal. Because yes, peace is good. And what this deal represents in principle is not just good, it's necessary. The people of the Democratic Republic of Congo have suffered for far too long. So if there's even a chance that this peace accord can bring stability, if it can stop the bloodshed, restore order, and open the door for real economic transformation, then I'm rooting for it. Because no country embodies contradiction quite like the DRC. This is a land filthy rich in natural resources, home to cobalt, coltan, gold, diamonds, copper, lithium, you name it. And yet, it remains one of the poorest countries on earth. It's a country where your phone's battery starts, but where millions have no electricity. A country where trillion-dollar minerals sit beneath the feet of people who live on less than $2 a day. A country whose wealth has been its curse. And for decades, the DRC has been haunted by war, from the aftershocks of the Rwandan genocide in 1994 to foreign invasions, rebel groups, political instability, and the rise of militias like M23. Eastern Congo has been a battlefield soaked in blood, grief, and silence for years. So yes, the people of the DRC deserve peace. They deserve security. They deserve the chance to thrive off of the wealth that's been stolen from under them for generations. And if this deal delivers on even a fraction of that promise, then it could mark the dawning of a new day. But let's be honest. I'll never quite get over the fact that this peace deal, the one that might shape the future of Congo, is being brokered not by Africans, but by a foreign entity. Not by the African Union, not even by regional leaders, but by the United States, and more specifically, Donald Trump. Patrice Lumumba must be turning in his grave. But it is what it is. The DRC reached out to Trump's White House because they felt their hands were tied. They couldn't end the war alone. They couldn't reign in Rwanda. So they made a call, not just for peace, but for help, for security. In exchange for what? For access to their minerals. And Trump, well, he answered like any businessman would. And not because he's a humanitarian, not because he loves the DRC, but because he saw the business opportunity. Access to $20 trillion worth of minerals, a diplomatic win, a photo op with global stakes, the potential for a Nobel Peace Prize for striking this peace. Let's not kid ourselves. He came to the table with a business plan, not a peace plan. So yes, in theory, this agreement looks great. But theory doesn't feed families or silence guns, does it? Because peace on paper means nothing if it doesn't translate into power for the people.
And there will be some bilateral agreements. We're negotiating a minerals deal with the DRC for critical minerals. Many American companies have shown interest in investing in the DRC, and these we're talking about long-term investments. Same thing with Rwanda. Many American companies have shown interest, and not only in mining, but also in the midstream and downstream, which will be the processing of minerals. We're also working and supporting the Lobito corridor, which will help building the infrastructure. Just 2 days ago, the United States signed and supported a project of $1.5 billion for electric transmission from Angola to the DRC. And there are many other projects of that nature lined up. So we will be, under your leadership, Mr. President, we'll be working with the two countries very closely and with the support of Qatar to make sure that this agreement is implemented.
Now let's get into this deal itself and what we know. This week, President Trump stood at the White House and announced this landmark peace agreement between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, what his team is calling the Washington Accord. At the press conference, Trump framed it as a win-win. Rwanda will begin withdrawing its forces from Eastern Congo within 90 days. The DRC and Rwanda will work together on a joint border security mechanism. And there's talk, lots of talk, about major investments from U.S. tech companies in both countries, especially in mining, infrastructure, and energy. Trump even said on camera that the U.S. has secured access to, quote, a lot of the mineral rights from the Congo. Yes, he said that part out loud. So what does this really mean? It means this deal is about more than peace, right? It's about strategic control. It's about securing America's future supply of critical minerals. Cobalt, coltan, lithium, you know, the stuff that powers your smartphone, your electric car, your AI hardware. And that part of the deal, that wasn't signed by diplomats. It was inked by CEOs. According to Trump's Africa advisor, Masad Boulos, the deal includes commitments from U.S. companies to invest billions in both Rwanda and the DRC. On paper, that's great, right? Jobs, development, infrastructure. But here's the catch. Nowhere in the public version of this agreement are there clear terms on equity, ownership, or oversight. Who controls the mines? Who gets the profit? What protection exists for the Congolese people? We've seen this movie before. Resource deals dressed up as development, peace agreements signed with no plan for implementation. But this time, the stakes feel even higher because this deal, it has trouble written all over it. Here are 3 big reasons why. Number 1, let's start with the obvious. The man making the deal, President Trump. This is a man who has made an empire out of doing deals that benefit himself first, foremost, and always. He doesn't show up unless there's something in it for his wallet, his ego, or his legacy. And as we've seen before, he'll sell you a skyscraper and leave you with scaffolding. So when he promises peace, the real question isn't what's in the deal, it's what's in the fine print. And who's going to pay for it? Literally and figuratively. Because if Trump is suddenly interested in African investment, you better believe there's a gold mine, or more likely a cobalt mine, at the center of the story. Number 2, what's missing is just as important as what's there. So let's talk about who wasn't in the room. No representatives from M23, the rebel group responsible for much of the violence in Eastern DRC. No accountability mechanisms, No penalties or guarantees if either side violates the deal. No voice from Congolese civil society. No local leaders, no community advocates, no victims of the war. This is a deal about Congo, signed in Washington with almost no Congolese representation beyond government officials. So let's be honest. This isn't a peace deal in the traditional sense. This is a stability for access agreement. You keep the violence down, we'll keep the money flowing. But peace that's bought can easily be sold, can it? And if history is any guide here, extractive deals made without the people in mind just never end well for anyone. And number 3, China's shadow looms large. And here's what's not being said loudly enough. Because China already dominates the DRC's mining sector. Over the last 2 decades, Chinese firms have entrenched themselves in nearly every major mine in the region, offering loans, building infrastructure, and locking in access to critical minerals. So now the U.S. is trying to wedge itself in with Trump leading the charge. This deal isn't just about Rwanda and the DRC. It's about Washington versus Beijing, playing out in the mines of Eastern Congo. That geopolitical tension, you can see how it could easily spill over, destabilize existing operations, or trigger new friction on the ground, my people. Because as they say, when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. And in this case, the Congolese people are the grass. So yes, this deal is historic. Yes, it has the potential to change lives, but it also raises massive red flags. And unless these 3 issues are addressed, we may look back at this moment, not as the start of peace, but as the beginning of a new kind of exploitation, a new kind of conflict.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for having us here. I think I can summarize my contribution in 3 main points. First of all, thank you and congratulations indeed for this remarkable milestone, which is putting an end to 30 years of conflict and of suffering, and which is redefining the perspectives that millions of Congolese and of citizens of the greater Great Lakes region will have. The second point is stay committed, stay on board. We need the United States to make sure that this agreement holds and that you hold us accountable. And the third point is, if you stay on board, I think there are so many perspectives that we can transform our partnerships through and that can usher in an era of prosperity, of growth, and of shared bilateral relationships that go well beyond the challenges that we've shared together and that can at least or finally focus on the potential and of the wealth that we can share. So again, our heartfelt gratitude to you on my behalf, but more importantly, on behalf of the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thank you so much.
Beautifully spoken, and I look forward to seeing your leader. They will, highly respected person, as you know,
Indeed.
highly respected all over the world, but in Africa in particular. So sometime in July, we'll do something, big ceremony.
We look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This is indeed a historical day because it's the signing of a peace agreement between Congo and Rwanda to end a conflict that has been going on for 30 years. And there has been many mediation, facilitation in the past, but none of them succeeded. And we believe that it's because of your leadership and your steadfast commitment to this process, with also a new approach of economic integration, regional economic integration, which is important to allow Rwanda and DRC working together, because this is a very rich region with cross-border trade, with minerals, with natural wealth. So with the US standing side by side with Rwanda and DRC, we believe that we will achieve a long-time peace. And we also believe that, as my colleague from DRC stated, it's important for the United States to stay committed, because today we signed, but now we need to implement what we have signed in order to open this new era you were talking about of prosperity, so that we can reap the economic dividend of peace. So for this economic integration framework to be implemented, it's important for the US to accompany the parties to implement what we have signed, because in the past we have signed so many agreements that were not implemented. And we are really, we believe that with your leadership, with the involvement of the United States administration, we will reach that goal. So thank you very much, Mr. President.
Now let's take a step back. Because while the headlines are all about Rwanda, the DRC, and Trump, the truth is this deal is about so much more, my people. This is about Africa. It's about all of us, our future, our power, and who gets to shape it. The sad reality is this. Here we are in 2025, and yet once again, a major deal impacting African lives was signed, not on the African continent, but in Washington, in a White House conference room, not an African Union hall, negotiated by a U.S. president who has disrespected the continent countless times, backed by American corporations, and brokered with little to no African public in the room. How is this that much different from the Berlin Conference, which carved up Africa for colonizers? We're still watching foreign powers cut deals about us, for us, and without us. And we're just grateful, so grateful that they stepped in to help us find peace. That's the bigger picture here, my people. Because this isn't just about peace. It's about position. It's about power. And it's about the fact that Africa is still not in the driver's seat when it comes to its own destiny. Let's be real. What we're witnessing here is the modern day version of the scramble for Africa. But this time, it's not about land. It's about what's underneath it. Lithium, cobalt, coltan, rare earth minerals, the very things powering the global tech revolution. Africa holds the keys to the world's future, and the global powers know it. China saw it early. They've entrenched themselves in the DRC for years, building infrastructure, signing mining contracts, embedding their footprint. Russia followed, bringing weapons, political muscle, and private military companies. Now here comes the US, trying to reclaim space in the game, with Trump charging in under the banner of peace, but holding a briefcase full of contracts. So while the world is watching a handshake and calling it a diplomatic win, we need to be asking a deeper question. What does it mean when Africa's peace is brokered not by Africans, but by external forces with strategic interests? Because here's what I see. A continent with the youngest population, the fastest growing markets, the richest natural resources, and still no seat at the table when it comes to defining the global future. My people, this is not progress. That is a power imbalance. And if we keep accepting deals like this, deals negotiated without transparency, without community input, without real ownership, without African representation, we're setting ourselves up to repeat the same cycle. Resource rich, investment poor, exporters of raw materials, importers of poverty. It's a formula we know too well. But this moment, it can also be a turning point. Because what this deal shows, beyond the politics, beyond the press conference, is just how valuable Africa has become to the rest of the world. It validates what we already know. And they want in. They need what we have. And that means we have leverage. The only question is, are we using it? This is the time for African leaders, regional bodies, and the diaspora to wake up and say, not again. Not without us, not anymore. We cannot keep letting others write the rules for our land, our peace, our prosperity. Because Africa doesn't need another savior. Africa just needs sovereignty. We have the talent, we have the tools, and with the right vision, we have the power. What we do with that power, that's truly what will define the next chapter.
Well, this will happen definitely.
I can reach over. Do you want to just press them over to me?
Sure.
Let me have them. And I just wanted to give you each. These are your signed agreements. And we'll make sure that you follow through. We'll make sure you follow through. Yeah. We'll make sure that you follow through. Okay, that's for you. And we have one other thing that we're going to give, that we give to special people only. It's a coin.
Thank you.
And I hope you do that. I'm going to give you a second one for your leader.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much.
And likewise, we'll do that. These are serious coins. You don't want to lose them. You'll be very. I think that your reporter from Africa should get one. What do you think? Is she allowed?
I saw.
I think. Yes. Are the reporters okay with it? Brian, yes. Darling, that's for you. Okay. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And I heard you do a great job in covering everything. Thank you.
And Mr. President, we actually have the pictures that you took earlier
Oh,
of
let
the
me
foreign
see
ministers
that.
here already.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Let me see that.
They're in this folder right here, sir.
Okay, this one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they look better than me. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's beautiful. That's very good. We have a good photographer. Beautiful.
So, my people, where do we go from here? A deal has been signed. A press conference has been held. Cameras flashed. Leaders have shaken hands. And once again, the world, well, is calling it a victory. But I want us to pause and ask, victory for who? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that not every deal made in a palace leads to peace in the streets. Not every promise of investment leads to prosperity. And not every show of unity is rooted in justice. Let's be real. What happened in Washington is bigger than one treaty between Rwanda and the DRC. This was about the global stakes of Africa's future. The minerals buried in Congolese soil aren't just natural resources. They are strategic weapons in a new world order. And everyone wants a peace. Trump knows it. China knows it. Russia knows it. And if we don't wake up to it, we will get left behind. Or worse, sold out. That's why this isn't just a moment for critique. It's a moment for clarity. Because the power struggle over Africa's resources isn't going to stop. But how we respond, how we show up, how we lead, that's where everything can change. We need African leaders who put people behind pipelines. We need regional institutions like the African Union that don't just release statements, but step in, negotiate, and lead on behalf of the continent. We need civil society, activists, youth, media to hold power accountable and demand transparency always. And we need the diaspora, not just to react, but to organize, to invest, and stand guard over the future of our homelands. Because the question isn't whether Africa is rising. It's who will rise with it. Will it be our people or foreign powers making backroom deals while we remain spectators in our own story? Again, this deal could be a turning point, but it will only be a win if it delivers justice, ownership, and peace, not just for governments, but for the people on the ground. That's the bar now, and we must hold the world to it. So I leave you with this question. Is this peace deal the break the DRC truly needs? Or is it the beginning of something far worse? I can't wait to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's have this important conversation together. And also don't forget to subscribe and share this episode. And if you believe in this mission, consider joining our membership or dropping a super thanks to support our channel. Here at Pan and Genius TV, and specifically on the show, The Breakdown, we're not just following headlines. We're asking the hard questions, telling the untold stories, and fighting for truth that serves our people. Because we believe that it is our time. It is Africa's time. That's it for now. Thanks for staying with me. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.